It's awesome to see so many people in chat already. Thanks everybody for being here. It's been a long time since I've live streamed on this channel, and I'm having light problems and my camera keeps auto rebalancing and it's just crazy. But we have a really cool show for you guys today. We were on my lovely and talented and stunning and brave co-host's channel
Hey,
on Wednesday. Tell the kids at home, what's your name again? Purple something, pink
purple
Valkyrie. What are you?
something Valkyrie purple. Hello, Salty. I'm so excited to be back and doing phenomenal. This
I
is awesome.
know. This is where it all started, and
Yes.
yeah. So we're going to be doing this going forward. I'm actually going to be spending a lot more time on my channel, covering things that I like, and pop culture's burned me out. Guys, feeling that way? But let me say hello to some
Hmm.
people we have in chat. We have Thunder Sensei 150, a very talented cosplayer, very talented and cool young woman. Can I say that? Use gendered language. Hail to you. We've got Smile a while for me. She says, yay, I made it for the first time live in a long time. I know, me too, right? I haven't streamed in a long time. Jay the Deep Minded is here. Again, our friend makes some great jewelry. It's awesome to see everybody here. Squeaka, how you doing, Squeaka? It's great to see you as well.
Hello, guys. Great to see you. Yes, I am really excited to talk about this today. And we had a fantastic
Yeah.
response when we were talking about it the other day. You guys were really into it, and it really kind of lit a fire under us.
And that's why we did this. We had people throwing out like, I'm a Leo. I want to know about my birth sign. I want to know about this. What does this mean in Chinese astrology? What does this mean? And then Purple and I started talking after that show and going, there's Viking mythology, and then the
Hmm.
Vikings have their own stones. There's the Mayans that had a completely different astrological system than we do here in sort of, one would could say, in the European sense of it. And then we started looking at all the different stones out there. When we talk about precious metals, gems, usually it's incorporated within some type of belief system. But before we get into that, let's talk about a big rock that Purple and I talk about all the time. And Purple, I'm going to let you vamp while I do this. What are we going to talk about?
Yes, absolutely. So this is something that Salty told me about just recently, and this is something we've talked about in the past as well, and we've talked about
Hmm.
extinction events that have taken place.
Hmm.
But what we haven't seen is what the fallout would be from such an event, and this is fascinating what you found.
Yeah, this was on my Twitter feed, and this comes from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Organization, or NOAA. Now, those are the people who are responsible for forecasting the weather, but they've also been doing simulations on things like the major asteroidal impact that hit what is now the modern day Yucatan Peninsula down in the Gulf of Mexico. Chat, I'm going to drop you off, but it's going to be worth it. We'll bring you right back in. And this is actually a simulation of what they believe, based on all of the data that's been collected, of what that big rock that hit 66 million years ago was like. Now, one thing you'll notice is that you're looking at the continent of North America in its form then. It wasn't called North America, and you'll notice there's a whole bunch on the west part missing. You know why? Because that part hadn't slammed on and become stuff like Wyoming, Oregon, Washington. That part hadn't joined on yet, because that's literally where the edge of North America was. So let's watch this simulation, and I'll quit talking. I'm going to go full screen on this, and I think it's full screen for you guys
It
too.
is, yeah.
So here it is. Again, you can see the outline of where the current North America is, and in the black, that is the where we were, and that was, air quotes, North America 66 million years ago. So there's the initial impact. And what you're seeing are mile plus high tsunami waves created by this 6 mile wide asteroid that hit.
This is incredible. And if you think back just not too long ago when we had the Boxing Day tsunami in
Mm-hmm,
Thailand and how much devastation that brought in, just
mm-hmm.
imagine what this would do. And as you can see, it ripples out across the entire planet.
Yeah, yeah, and you can see how much sand and debris was pushed inland. Now you can see that Africa. Now Africa in far, I guess that would be far Western Africa, pretty much got annihilated at that point. Like whatever was there 66 million years ago is gone. Not to mention the amount of energy that's released from an asteroid 6 miles in size hitting the planet. I don't know. I thought that was cool because what I wanted to do is give you some scope and scale into the importance of astrology. Why did ancient civilizations build so
Mhm.
many things, solar observatories, astrological observatories, looking at the heavens, and how does all of these things fit into some of the belief systems that we still see, and then of course some of the birthstones and gemstones that we're covering. Let me shout out a few more people who are in chat. Blair to Blair, hail to you. Thunda Sensei says that she's a Taurus and born in the year of the fire rabbit. I don't
Very cool.
yeah. We've got Squeaka as well, and there it is. Purple, I'm gonna have to have you take over because I think yeah, it froze on me again. So
Yeah, of course. So, Squeaker, we're actually going to be covering that, funny enough, that you mentioned. And I found a really good breakdown of the trees. And until we started going into it, I had no idea that it was so in depth. But as Salty was saying, the one thing that we've learned as we kind of went down this rabbit hole talking about these astrological signs, and especially the connection that a lot of these gemstones have, is how they've, one, changed over the years, but two, how many different ones have the same connection. So amethyst, for example, shows up time and time again all
mhm.
throughout the world.
What did I miss? Sorry. For whatever reason, Restream is being very difficult in locking up on me pretty consistently. Purple, was there something you were talking about that you wanted to continue on with?
Uh, Oh, I was just talking about the comment that Squeaker said, was she
Okay.
mentioned the Celtic, and I was going to say we're going to definitely cover
Oh
those
yeah.
as well. Really looking
Yeah.
forward to that.
Yeah. So now that we've started out on the macro scale, and I really hope Restream is not, you guys can still see us. I don't know if you guys are putting comments in chat or not because I completely lost the chat now. This is so much fun. This is why live streaming is great, isn't it? So I'm going to take a look at this article and bounce chat out. Let's go ahead and do this. Here we go. So
There
this
we
is an
go.
article. Okay, so this is an article from ancientorigins.net, and it says for 3.3 million years, stone and crystal traditions have shaped our destiny as a species. Now, this is something that we get a lot of contradictory information as to when did humanity start and where did we start and what did it mean being a human being, and then these various levels of supposedly the evolutionary chain of us going from having prehensile tails to now being who we are today. There's some fascinating new information that was just discovered in 2014. And for whatever reason, I certainly wasn't aware of this, but that
Mm-mm.
humans or human like figures, and let me know if you guys are in chat. Um, this is just crazy. Restream is completely acting up, and I apologize. Purple, if there's comments that appear on the screen, please let me know because I can't
Yeah,
see them. Okay.
absolutely.
Okay,
Just want
good.
to give a shout out to Miss Martin Mew. She sent us a super sticker, and it's a red rose. So thank you so
Thank you.
much.
I can't see that. It's lost on this. This is great. This is awesome. So let's get back to the article. For 3 point, thank you very much, Miss Martin uses. For 3.3 million years, stone and crystal traditions have shaped our destiny. Now, all over the ancient world, in these civilizations, people wore talismans and amulets for good luck to ward off evil spirits. But really, how did they get the ideas of let's wear this, let's wear that
Hmm.
stone, let's wear an amethyst, let's wear a lapis lazuli, all those things? We have to go very back to the start of humanity and how we evolved here on Earth. Now we're looking at some stones here. This is a pink star diamond that was mined in 1999 in South Africa. This was sold by Sotheby's. It is almost a 60 carat diamond for
Wow.
$83 million. And it was the most ever paid for any stone ever in recorded history. Now, the evidence of our use of stones as tools goes back to, again, a cave near Kenya in Africa, which dated back to 3.3 million years ago. The oldest fossil known of Genius Homo is 2.8 million years old, which means stones were used to facilitate survival 500,000 years
Hmm.
before our modern form, according to what they're telling us, has even emerged in the current archaeological record. Go ahead, Purple.
It's also fascinating to think that these stones were not just used for survival, so for tools, for hunting, for tracking down game. These stones were used for decorative properties, as Salty correctly said, and
Hmm.
it's interesting to see what our ancestors gravitated towards. So clearly, it was anything kind of strangely coloured that really caught people's eyes. So it was
Yeah.
the quartzes, the emeralds, the bright greens, blues,
Yeah.
pinks that they wanted.
Yeah. So what this is another new thing that we didn't hear about because I was long out of college and high school when this happened, but a paper came out in 2009 that indicated that a cave had been found with artwork using shells and stones in the cave wall that goes back to 110,000 years ago.
I had never heard of this before.
Yeah, and this is where we keep talking about, they say that everything just started with the Babylonians or the Sumerians. There is absolutely no way that it was that late in the game. If you have people that are doing things and creating this kind of artwork over 110,000 years ago, again, I really think that there were advanced civilizations, advanced meaning probably they had math and written language and maybe could do navigation many, many times throughout history. But this was actually 47 marine shells, saltwater shells, placed in a design. They were perforated and covered in wreck ochre to make some type of a limestone like mosaic within this cave. It's 110,000 years ago. This is insane. Why aren't they telling us? We actually have a picture of what this is that they made. These were covered in this red ochre and then laid out in this mosaic. And these are the actual shells that our ancestors 110,000 years ago made.
Can you imagine the time that this would have taken them to track these down and to do it? And you think back that far, you think they're just hunter-gatherers, they're just doing
Mm-hmm.
what they can to survive. And clearly
Mm-hmm.
that's not the case. We had this civilization where we had art, where they had time to create this beautiful work.
Hail to Memes of Destruction. Hail to Whitechapel. It's great to see you. Magitech Mags is here. This was your idea. Thanks for coming around. We're going to get into some of those detail. We also have Zax is in the house. And of course, Restream is lagging on me, so I can't even pull things up. So I'm a little frustrated right now, guys, with my streaming app, but there's not much I can do about it. So if you see anything Purple Valkyrie that jumps out
I
in
will
chat,
do.
please call them out.
Absolutely.
Okay. So these new finds, this is according to the project leader, this was discovered by the University of Oxford. These new finds are exciting because they show that bead manufacturing probably arose independent of different cultures and confirms a long suspected pattern that humans used modern symbolic behavior. And this was present from the very beginning of our time here on Earth. It's crazy. 110,000 years ago, our ancestors wanted to make art and wanted to make things with their hands. And then we have Purple Valkyrie and I painting models along with Amanda Manethrin uh, on YouTube earlier.
Some things
I
never
am,
change.
yeah, I may have to dump out of this and come back in because my restream is so bad right now, guys. I can't
Yeah,
even
of
pull
course.
anything up.
Would it be
Purple,
okay
take
if
it.
I show a couple of examples of stones that I've got, since I've got them in front of me?
Yeah, go ahead, Purple. I'm going to dump out and
Awesome.
come back.
Okay, so I guess I don't want to kind of grab some of my collection, since everybody knows we love shiny things. So I thought I would bring out a few. You guys will recognize these, but some of the most popular stones, and some that we will be covering when we talk about the significance of birthstones, things like the rose quartz, which have different meanings, usually protection. For the rose, we have got things like a raw piece of turquoise. This is what it looks like before it gets put into jewelry. And I just love holding these things. We've got things like a really nice piece of quartz, the cloudy quartz. And over the years, I've just kind of picked them up. Some of them I've just found on the beach. I've also got things like the ammonite, which you guys will recognize. I just absolutely love this sort of thing. And one of the things I did want to show you guys, you might recognize these, and I have got a much bigger one as well. These are called hagstones. So you find them on beaches, you can find them on pretty much anywhere where there's water. But if you find them, it is a stone with a hole all the way through the middle, and they're supposed to be very good luck. And that is what this one is as well. So this is a much bigger example, as you can see. I can get my finger through this one. Exactly, Squeaker, hagstones. You got it, honey. But I think they're awesome, and I didn't know about these for the longest time. But this one I wanted to show as well, because this one is jade, which is a very, very special stone.
There you go. I'm somewhere. Restream is acting absolutely insane right now. This is the perils of live streaming. Look at this. This is kind of crazy. But yeah, sorry about that, you guys. It's not me, and I was afraid this was going to happen. I literally just dumped my computer and did it. And yeah, look at Squeaka said, and I can't pull up the chat comments again. This is awesome. So Squeaka says, my grand called them Fey houses too.
I've heard that before. Yeah, this is probably, like I said, the better example because it's a lot bigger and you can see all the way through it. But yeah, always good to have a hagstone. But the thing with them is, if you find them, that's great, but don't ever sell them. You can pass them on to somebody and it will be good luck, but yeah, they're not to be sold.
See, I never even heard of these things, Purple Valkyrie, and I am completely locked out of Restream. I'll be back.
Okay, let's see what else you guys are saying. So Miss Martin Musa says, don't mess with good people. You are absolutely correct. And we've got a super chat as well. So huge thank you to Memes of the Destruction. Great to see you as always. He sends us a $4.99 super chat. And he says, hi friends, totally simping for science. Love these deep dives. Love. We do too, and it was a really good idea. So shout out to Mags for this, but it is great to see them. But I just wanted to kind of show and give examples. We've got things like pyrite as well, which is that kind of fake gold which you come across, and something else that I wanted to cover as well, moonstone, which is one of my absolute favorites.
That's fantastic.
Love that.
I believe we had a super chat, and Purple, I'll let you vamp some more. I'm going to have to open up another window. I have never seen my streaming app do what it's doing to me right now, so I'm more than a little bit embarrassed. But I believe we have a super chat. I'm going to go and try and find it. Go ahead, Purple.
We do, yeah, absolutely. So again, thank you to Memes for that. Appreciate. Sort of will pull it up in a minute. You guys are awesome.
Yeah, so this is from Memes of Destruction for $4.99. Hail to you, says, hi friends, totally simping for science. Love these deep dives. Love. You guys are awesome. Ms. Martin Muses said, don't mess with the good people. Yeah, it's very true. Magitech Mag says, you're welcome. This subject was fascinating when y'all were talking about it. Now we should be caught up in that. And yeah, this is Restream is acting completely crazy, and I'm not sure what I should do and not do about it. But so let's get into the article that I wanted to cover, which a lot of people were curious about. And that was, what is the origin of a lot of these stones? Why do people care about these stones? We've looked at the macro level. Let's take a look at some of the other stuff behind this. And let me pull this stuff up. So I'm going to finish the article that we were on. And again, this is talking about, we're going back 3.3 million years, which again, I'm hearing all kinds of contradictory information from the science about where things were. But these are the actual stones from 110,000 years ago. It's pretty crazy. So some of the earliest gemstone traditions besides this from 100,000 years ago were, of course, from the Sumerians. The Sumerians also did this awesome thing where they gave us beer and fermentation of liquor. So yay, Sumerians. But they also were the ones that started to use crystals and gemstones in magic formulas going back to 4,000 years before the birth of Christ. So in the 4th millennium BC. And not to mention, ancient Chinese medicine started using those same things around 3000 BC. So ancient Egyptians, latecomers on the scene, relatively speaking. We think that ancient Egypt was kind of the be-all, end-all. And Purple, you might want to mute with the rocks. But they crafted ritual and burial items out of lapis, turquoise, carnelian, emerald, and clear quartz for use in rituals aimed at bringing protection and health. Now, a lot of those same stones that the ancient Egyptians used, we find in use now in modern astrological and in astrological and birth sign, birth month gemology. And it's really kind of wild how much did come from the Egyptians. Topaz and Peridot, I think that's how you say it. Purple, is it Peridot or Peridot?
Peridot, I pronounce it, but
Yeah.
I've been known to be wrong in the past.
That's okay. We'll go with that. You know, some of these the ancient Egyptians used to purge evil spirits that caused nightmares. We had malachite as well as galena, which is a lead ore. Both of these were powdered and used as eyeshadow to create kohl, which is that funky look that, you know, you always see Cleopatra in all the mummy drawings have that black kind of goth eye stone. And green stones represented the hearts of the deceased. So, you know, we've all familiar with some of these beautiful finds that occurred in a lot of these ancient temples. This one in particular comes from a ram-headed falcon that was found on a mummy of a bull.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's made out of gold, lapis, turquoise, and carnelian. So the ancient Greeks first coined the word crystal because so many things come from Greek, and it actually came from crystallis, meaning ice or rock crystal. In ancient China, jade beads were so important culturally that they were assigned their own written character. And 1,000 years ago, emperors were buried in jade armor,
Wow.
masks, and on jade horses. Similar, interestingly, to how rulers were buried in ancient Mexico. Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, going back to the Greeks, they came up with crystallis, meaning ice or rock crystal, because they believed that quartz was permanently frozen water. Fascinating stuff.
It kind of makes sense. I mean, when you think about it, it certainly does look like ice when you see it, especially the really clear quartz that you get the crystals. It's incredible.
Ms. Martin Musa says, Emerald is my favorite. Emerald is one of those things that actually you have to take really good care of. It's a stone that is susceptible to shattering. It doesn't have nearly the strength have a diamond or other stones that are precious stones. And there's a difference between precious stones, semi-precious stones, and then you kind of have, I would say, easily available stones. If you can walk along the beach shore or wander around a quarry and find something, obviously it's not even really semi-precious, but emerald is a beautiful stone. They're actually, it's been going on for a couple of years. Finding decent quality emeralds has become a lot harder than it ever has before. And so you're getting a lot of synthetics, but even the synthetic emeralds are starting to cost a lot of money. So I don't know what that's about, but I think it's really interesting. Thunda Sensei says
Yes.
that she's heard it pronounced peridot or peridot.
Peridot. Okay.
What were you going to say, Purple?
I was going to say, yeah, it seems to be that it's either becoming more scarce, these, in quotations, very precious stones, like diamonds, emeralds, rubies, or else they're getting a lot harder to mine.
Yeah. Yeah. And we've got Smile a While from me says ancient Egyptians also had a type of battery that they used to electrocute cats and then mummify them because they believed that cats were from the gods. I still do that. I still, no, I don't. Just kidding. Yeah. Labradorite. There we go. We have a winner. Ding, ding, ding. Yeah. I'm actually wearing my labradorite today, and you can sort of see the stone and some of the refractory properties that it has in there as well. So that's the labradorite that I'm wearing. Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. Ms. Martin Muses is morally offended by the electrocuting cats in ancient Egypt thing, but it's real. This actually did happen. All right, I'm going to get back to this article. And, but yeah, crystals and gemstones are mentioned throughout all major religions and holy books, the Bible as well as the Quran. You know, especially in the book of Genesis in the Old Testament, there was a lot of description related to gemstones and particularly those around the Ark of the Covenant. Yes, that Ark of the Covenant that Indiana Jones chased down. You remember the scene where the Nazis, literal Nazis, and then the French archaeologists were all dressed up in what appeared to be Judaic kind of high priest like armor stuff. Well, one of the breastplates that the French archaeologist was wearing had a series of stones on them. Now, that is a biblically accurate description of that sort of chest plate of the high priest. Now, on that, there were 12 stones, 12 different stones that were said to symbolize the 12 tribes of Israel. Interestingly enough, those same stones are a direct correlation to our current modern day zodiac stones. Fascinating stuff, isn't it?
That's incredible.
Yep, and that's kind of what the article says here. It goes back to the book of Aaron and describing the breastplate of Aaron, which is the origin of birthstones. It was gold and set with 12 gemstones. And the fourth heaven of the Quran, described as being made of garnet, or what you can call a carbuncle. But a carbuncle with gemstones you can kind of get weird. Now, here's an example of what I'm talking about. This would have been the breastplate that's described in the Old Testament, as well as the Quran, as being worn by the high priest that would have been around the Ark of the Covenant. You can kind of see how these stones were incorporated into modern astrological and zodiac symbolism. Now, in ancient India, the Kalapa Sutra records that there was this divine commander of foot troops that captured 14 precious stones, which he cleansed and then retained only the essence of to aid his future transformations. Now, Sanskrit was the liturgical language of Hinduism, Buddhism, and Jainism, and the word for diamond was Vyarda, which is also a word for the Hindu goddess Indra's thunderbolt. Once we start going down that road of Indian subcontinent belief systems and gemology, it is a whole show I want to do separately, because I have some friends who were from India who used to explain to me, you shouldn't wear this stone, when were you born, completely different perspective on birthstones and why you shouldn't wear sapphires and the energy of certain stones. I would like to talk with that, especially with some of my friends that are from India, about that, because it's a very different perspective on jewelry than we have as Westerners.
It's a lot more structured, isn't it, from what I believe?
Yeah. But getting back to the Western world, it was around 355, and the Christian church, early Christian church, banned these pagan beliefs in amulets, but gemstones remained highly valued, with rubies and sapphires being the choice for the finger rings of royal and ecclesiastical or church hierarchy. In the 11th century, we saw several medical treatises examining the properties of precious stones and crystals in context of enhancing herbal cures. So isn't that funny? The church bans it, the early church bans it, and then in about right before the Dark Ages, or during the Dark Ages, we see them circle back to the things that were originally banned by some of the pagan crones and herbalists and other things like that.
Yes, so. It's funny how it comes back when it's convenient.
Yeah, let's take a look at what you guys are saying in chat. And of course, it locked up again. It's really hard to do a show like this. I'm sorry, guys, where everything's... Squeak Mouse says, opal is a picky stone like that. Some people have super bad luck with it. It's true. Opal is one of those. Sapphire is a very, very powerful stone. Again, I look forward to bringing on some of my friends who are from that culture. I'm not saying I agree with everything they have to say, but they do have some interesting perspectives on why a pregnant woman shouldn't wear this, or why someone who wants to have good luck should do that, or why you should not wear this particular stone if you're born in this particular month. And it's things that, it's just interesting to see these other cultures, and some of these beliefs that they're talking about go back thousands and thousands of years within their culture.
Yes, I was always told that opal was a stone that brought bad luck. It went out of fashion, especially over here in the UK, for a very long time because of that.
Okay. Yeah, it was around 1232, and this is the height of the Dark Ages, guys, where Hubert de Burgh was the Chief Justice of Henry III. And this guy was accused of stealing a gem from the king's treasury and passing it to his mortal enemy, Llewellyn, the King of Wales. This particular stone reportedly had the power to render its wearer invincible. Yeah, the Dark Ages were a fun time. Yeah, so we've got some artwork from there, and that of course is Henry III looking like he needs to eat more red
It needs a
meat, if you
sandwich.
ask me.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, they didn't live very long back then. If you made it to 32, you were kind of an old man back then. But in the 14th century, extreme church theologians thought that crystals and stones could be occupied by malevolent forces. Again, you're coming out of the Dark Ages. What do you need when you have poverty and ignorance and you want to control people? Well, you have to other people and create demons. So, you're wearing an amulet, you're wearing a ring. Well, there could be the devil living in the ring. So that's literally what they were saying. Thus, gemstones were often sanctified by the church for a small fee, much like a carbon tax now is going to be. But these gemstones were sanctified before being worn in rituals, a process that often is maintained by today's New Age community. And dousing crystals in holy or spring water to clear or cleanse them of their perceived energies, most often before and after use. Now, Purple Valkyrie, there's a stone that you were showing earlier, which you should cleanse if you wear, and I do believe this, on a monthly basis. What stone is that?
Yes, indeed. It is the moonstone. So whenever there is a full moon, what I do is I take the ring, I either put it outside or I put it on the windowsill, so the light of the full moon shines on it, and it recharges the stone. And it is just, I think it's just one of my favorite stones, and I think there is a lot to say for cleansing the stones, and
Mhm.
reconnecting the stones from where they came from.
Yeah. Ms. Mark Muses is going to correct me. That was the high mid ages. That's like being on the safest street in Compton. So true. Good story. We also, yeah, I don't care. Memes of Destruction says hello, because we've got Prophet of the Dragon and Roman in here. Hail, guys. It's
Hey.
awesome to see you. Ian So Forth. Great to see you. Really awesome. Thank you so much for hanging out on the Chill and Build stream we did on Purple's channel. This is a Thank you for the super chat. For 15 British pounds, says, I haven't heard of so many stones in one place since Orson Welles' last weigh-in. Hey-oh!
Ew.
Hey-oh! God, could you imagine if you got Orson Welles to oil wrestle with oh God, who was it that was in Apocalypse Now? The oh God, what's his name? The method actor. Purple, help me out here. The big guy.
Oh,
Crazy dude.
crap. My brain's gone.
Oh, that's fine. Anyway, you get Orson Welles, and I'm trying to like Dom DeLuise. Could you imagine those guys drunk, oil wrestling, nude? I think it would be pretty wild. But yeah, hail! Thank you very much, Ian. So forth. That was a very well timed joke. Hail to Rome of the Empire says I feel the same way. Oh, look at this. We've got manly displays in there where they named Nancy Pelosi. No, we're not talking about petrified excrement. We're talking about semi-precious stones. Yeah, true story. Got a lot of awesome toxic stuff going on in chat. All
I
right,
love
so
it.
you guys, I have a point to all this. We're going to get into the nitty gritty. We're going to take when you were born, what your birthstone is, and then we're going to run it through current day astrology, as well as look at Mayan. And Purple Valkyrie has committed time and effort to researching what the ancient pagan Celtic mythology was and what's
Yes,
that as well.
indeed.
So, again, new age, we all know crazy hippies, eating vegan tofu and all this other stuff. Today, a lot of people, I'd say a lot of overzealous people who take things too seriously and in my opinion, have kind of taken gemstones and made them a joke. Because of their weird belief system, a lot of what Hollywood has done. I love gemstones. I have several semi-precious stones, labradorite. I have my lapis that I wear every day. I have a moonstone. I have jaspers. I go looking for semi-precious stones on the beach all the time. But, we're here to talk about astrologically what your birthstone is and why it's important to you. I want to know in chat informally, do you guys have any stones that you like, or do you think that these stones have any energy at all? And do you think this is just interesting woo woo, or do you guys have a little Wiccan thing set up, or whatever your belief system is? I'm always interested to see what people have to say about that. So, all right, Purple Valkyrie, what do we got
Yes.
here? Go ahead.
Funny that you should mention that. This bowl, actually, with these stones, is actually on a little altar that I have to Odin, which is up on a shelf. So
Okay,
all
that's
all
really
these I
cool.
keep together. Yeah.
That's
And
really, really cool.
hey to Cam Cam, and I think Cam Cam got it was Marlon Brando. So my
Thank
apologies.
you. I
Thank
got
you
stream
guys.
brain. I'm
Me
doing the
too.
best that I can, considering I've been locked out of my own streaming app live 4 times already on this show, and we're only about 35 minutes into it. So, hail to Sarah Green, who says, "Hello, all. Cooking at the same time as being here. Pork chews and parmesan." She's eating pork chews. Pork chews. Never mind. All right. Yeah, no, we're great. It's great to have you here. And hail to you, Cam Cam, for remembering Marlon Brando. Yeah, let me see who else we have here. Hail to you again, memes of destruction. Thunder Sensei says, boy, oh, here, and this is what I figured somebody. Thunder Sensei says her boyfriend is a gemstone enthusiast. I get to see everything. See, that's
Nice.
really, really cool. And, there's the difference between precious stones and semi-precious stones. She says, I figure it's good luck. Well, it can't hurt. Prophet of the Dragon says he has 2 large boulders.
Hey,
Pretty sure
ladies.
yeah. And one tiny, tiny little sticking out part, but 2 big boulders, I guess, right? Yeah. What do we got here from Roman Rim says, who knows? Legends generally come from some truth changed over the years, allegory and metaphor.
Yep.
Absolutely. Look at Sarah Green. So here we go. Now we're getting into the nitty gritty of this. It's got real virtue. She uses hematite and rose quartz a lot. Now, the hematite is one of those stones that can be used to, it is, as it says, hema, which has to do with blood. And that stone was originally thought to clear maladies of the blood. It's also a good clearing stone for you as a person, but also other stones. Rose quartz is a emotional amplifier. Now, I'm not saying I believe all of this, but I might believe some of this. And the reason why is rose quartz it helps you have more empathy, according to what they say these virtues of these stones are. So this is the stuff that I love seeing in you guys, because this is kind of what drives a really interesting path that we can go down here. Ms. Martin Musa says, in my humble opinion, the stones do not have power in themselves, but they're beautiful and have meaning. I have some rosary beads for them. Yeah, I see, and I've seen other people who have actually rose quartz rosary beads or garnet rosary beads. I know when you start talking about for Buddhist prayer beads, you can have rosewood, but you can also have quartz or dragonstone or bloodstone or all of these other stones that are out there if you want to. And I actually have a carnelian rosary, which is one of my favorite stones. It's a beach stone red. In the symbology behind that, that's why I have it. What about you, Purple? Do you have any particular stones like that?
It's funny that you should mention the rosary. Actually, my grandmother had a jet rosary, and it was beautiful.
Oh,
Each of the tiny polished stones. But you were talking about the hematite, and jade actually is very similar to that. You wear it, and it's supposed to draw out the impurities in your blood. And this is one of my favourites. It's a solid jade bangle that I wear, not very often because it is quite delicate, but it is beautiful. I think you're muted. Sorry, Salty.
no, I was locked out for the 5th time. So yeah, that was me. This is it's a real banner. I'm trying, guys. Sometimes technology doesn't help. This all started when I started talking about Bill Gates. True
True
story.
story. Yeah.
Cam Cam says, and I cannot pull it up because I'm locked out again. I wear silver. This is from Cam Cam's Crash Course, especially a silver chain with a wolf head, terminals, and a silver axe. That sounds really cool. Are you a witcher? And I'm getting all kinds of warnings from my app. The axe is a symbol of Odin. The way the hammer is the symbol of Thor. That's very, very true. Yeah, smile a while for me. Yeah, I can't pull. I can't even share an article. Purple, I got to drop. I need you to vamp again.
Yeah, of course. Let's see what else you guys are saying. And it's funny you should mention that because, as you said, one of the things we're going to talk about will be the kind of the pagan side and the Celtic side. So that's really cool that you've got that, Cam. I love that. Miss Martin News, this says she's also got a rosary made from lava from Iceland. Um, when I went to Iceland, one of the things I really wanted to do was take one of the stones home with me, but I know you're not supposed to, so I refrained. But it was it was tempting to pick up. But it's amazing to see because a lot of the stones, especially there, it's that really dark volcanic rock, the basalt rock, and a lot of it's porous as well. And I think some of you will have seen the black beaches that they have there, and I was lucky enough to visit. But that is incredible. And yeah, the jet rosary was it was beautiful. I'm not sure what happened to it, but I have really good memories of it growing up. So one of the things we were going to talk about as well was some of the stones that we have, and kind of give examples of the meanings behind a lot of them. So some of these will be precious, some of them are semi-precious, but it seems that over the years they've kind of changed the meaning of what we've had and what we needed. So I'll pull up a couple and just kind of run through them if that's all right, Salty.
Yeah, let me grab this super chat. And if I have missed something, let me know. I have a possessed streaming app right now. So thanks everybody for being here. We have 20 people in chat. You guys are driving this, and this is what we'd hope for. So we're going to
Mm-hmm.
touch on this, which is your traditional Western birth sign and month stone. Then we're going to go into the Celtic stuff that Purple Valkyrie has. So this is a $4.99 super chat from Thunda Sensei, and it says, when a baby is born in my family, they make a pin with a blue, black, and white stone and beads to protect from the evil eye.
That is awesome.
That is, and that's what people used to use agates for, believe it or not. Now there's a variety of agates, but the agates that have the eye on them, that's a lot of what they had. Thank you very much for that, Thunder Sensei. It seems to have worked. I'm guessing nobody in your family is afflicted by the evil eye, and that's a good thing. So yeah. Go ahead, Purple.
Sure. So what I'll do is I'll just kind of run down some of these, and if there's any what you want me to kind of expand upon, we will. But one of the ones that is the most prevalent, and I think that's been throughout history as long as humans have been around, is amethyst, and we seem to be drawn to this beautiful purple stone. I know I am, obviously, for reasons, but
Yeah.
uh, some of the meanings behind it. So it's nobility. Obviously, purple represents royalty, especially in Europe. Purification and psychic power. Now that can tie in with the chakras as well.
Mhm. And from a zodiac birthstone standpoint,
Hmm.
February would be amethyst. So yeah, and I don't have the dates on that because it crosses over. I'll pull it up, but yeah, yeah, it's interesting because I will pull it up. Bear with me, and everything is exploding because nope, that didn't help me at all. Go ahead, Purple.
Yeah, what I'll do is I'll just open up amethyst and just kind of give you guys a little bit more detail. So it's it's one of the most sought after stones. It's one of the most powerful for healing crystals. It stimulates the amygdala, which aids in opening and expanding the third eye. So that's
Mhm.
where it brings in the chakras that we mentioned. It also is supposed to connect us to higher powers, allowing us to reconnect with our own divinity. And
Yeah.
and I think, because Salty, you were saying that there's a
Mhm.
really good story behind amethyst as well.
Didn't I already say that live, or did I only say that to you before the show?
You said that before the show. You were
Okay,
telling
so
me.
this is a cool story. So amethyst is a type of quartzite, but it's purple. There's a reason for that, and it goes back to, I forget if it's Greek or it's Roman. So the story goes, Bacchus, who's the god of revelry and wine, was so tired of human supplicants asking him for more wine and for more wine that he said, the next human being that comes up to me, I'm going to kill them. Well, unfortunately, This is Bacchus, the god of wine. He had enough, right? The very next person that he saw was a young woman by the name of Amethyst. Now, she was on her way, didn't realize that she was going to encounter a pissed off, having a bad day Bacchus, the god of wine. She was on her way to go pray to the goddess Diana, the goddess of the hunt. Well, Amethyst comes across Bacchus, who starts to attack her, and Diana saves Amethyst by turning her into a pillar of quartz. Clear rock quartz. Bacchus gets into it with Diana. Diana's cursing him up because, this lady actually works for me. Don't go murdering my help. And Bacchus felt so bad that he decided to share some of his wine and spill it on the quartz that she had become, thus creating the purple that is on Amethyst. That's the story.
I love that story.
The more you know. Ding. Yeah. So that's Amethyst. That's I think that's one of the better stories about these stones, and the symbology of it. So.
It is, and just kind of looking at this is a really good example. You can almost see, I can see where they're coming from, because it looks like you've just poured a liquid over it and it's just kind of seeped into the stones.
Yeah. Yeah. And of course, Amethyst is the February birth month, but I'm trying to pull this up. It's not Pisces birthstone, which I'm getting a lot of false positives on this, but go ahead, Purple, because I need
No,
to pull
it's
this up.
Aquarius, Capricorn. They do say Pisces, but Virgo as well. So this is one of those stones, because it is so popular. It kind of crosses over quite a few of the different star signs.
Yeah.
I can understand that, but it's one of those, it's always been there. So just to give you the properties as well. So colour, all purple hues ranging from a very deep, almost black, to lilac are classed. So you can get it from Africa, Bolivia, Brazil, Canada, funnily enough, Germany, Mexico, and around.
Yeah. I mean, this stuff is fairly common. You can actually find shards of it in a lot of different places. And again, Amethyst is the birthstone of, and I will pull it up, actually of Aquarius. We did miss, and I'm going to try and pull this up before my streaming app freaks out again. We did miss Garnet, which is actually January's birthstone, and I will pull that up, Purple Valkyrie,
Nice.
and we'll do that. So I will drop this out. So what we've got here is Garnet, and that is January. Now, Garnet is what they call the karma stone. It is thought to bring good luck if you do kind deeds. It's interesting. It's associated with karma and good health. There's a lot of folklore with it that you can go into. Now, there were other birthstones associated with this that go back to pre-Christian times, and that includes obsidian and emerald for this birthstone. So, yeah, as we talked about, February birthstone was amethyst. This is also, as Purple said, this is also thought to be a curative stone as well. It's thought to cure insomnia, arthritis, circulatory issues, and pain. It does, as Purple said, it promotes peace, balance, courage, and inner strength. Interestingly enough, a February birthstone is fluorite. That is an alternate older stone to this. What have you got next, Purple? What's the next thing you want to cover? I will drop this out.
Yeah, so I just thought we'd just do a couple more, and you talked about these, so I thought we could do ruby, because we haven't kind of covered the ruby stone. So let's see what they say. So passion, personal power, and kundalini. I'm not sure. I'll say okay. So it's let's see what it has got. So says there's a reason Dorothy's slippers were ruby. Technically they weren't, but that's only in the film. It's ruby can deliver us home. It's where life begins. So it's a grounding stone. It is the root chakra, and it's also the energy of the womb.
I didn't know this. And Ruby, what's that the birthstone of? That is Cancer, isn't it?
Yes, it is Cancer. Yep. It's also, it says Cancer is the main one, but it also crosses over into Leo and Scorpio. I've never heard Aries or Sagittarius though.
No. That's interesting. That's
Hmm.
really, really interesting. Let me get to this super chat from Squeaka. Hail to you. It's for $10. She says, "This stream rocks." Couldn't resist. I know. Well, Squeaka, you rock. Thank you for being here. Thanks for putting up with my possessed streaming app today. I have never had this many problems with Restream. I don't know what it is, but yeah, hail to you guys. And it just froze up again because I got lucky for a second, but yeah. So what else you got, Purple? Is there another stone that you want to cover?
I thought what I would do, if that's okay, is jump over to the Celtic and talk a little
Go
bit
ahead.
about that, if that's all right.
Yeah,
Because
I'm locked out, so you're
yeah,
gonna have to go ahead. Yep.
yeah, that's fine. So I wanted to kind of cover a little bit of this as well. And funny enough, the Celts do actually have a crossover with stones as well. But let's have a look, see what they've got to say. So we will start.
Oh,
And I think somebody correctly said, I think it might have been Squeaker, said that the Celts, their main thing was each of the birth months had a corresponding tree. That's what was most important to the Celts. So
that's
might as well
incredible.
have
That's
a look.
incredible. I want to know what my tree is because I don't know what my Celtic zodiac tree is.
Okay, so let's have a look. So without there we go. So it would be, without giving away the birthday, it would be the enchanter. So you are a free
Oh,
thinker, naturally
me?
creative, powerful, imaginative, intuitive, and spontaneous.
So that's Pisces.
Yes,
Essentially, that's yeah. Because my
that's
birthday,
Pisces. Yep.
I don't care. My birthday is March 4th. So
Ah,
yeah. Yeah, I'm the enchanter. And what was my tree again?
it is the ash tree,
Okay, I
and
dig
your
that.
corresponding um, stone would be coral, which makes a lot of sense. So it's the connection to the sea, and also the animals for you would be the seal, the seahorse, and the seagull. So a very strong connection to the ocean.
Yeah, when I wasn't by the ocean, I definitely felt it. I don't know if
Hmm.
you guys in chat have those. If you're a water sign, I don't know if that again we start getting into a little bit woo 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 on this, but I do believe there's some pulls in some of those things. So yeah,
Yes, so as it says, if you were born under the energy of the ash, you are a free thinker and a creative flame. You're like daydreaming, imagining, and can turn all of these thoughts into a piece of artwork. And we know that's true because we've seen what you can create.
it's true. Doesn't necessarily get views, but I create it. Purple. What about you in Celtic mythology?
Well, I am slightly later, which jumps into April. So I am the alder tree, which is apparently the trailblazer. So it stands for protection, endurance, and passion. And let's see if I
Cool.
scroll back up, it'll tell us what I have got as well. There we go. So it is a pioneer, novator, and discoverer. And the animals are the bear, the fox, and the hawk. And my stone for this is actually ruby.
Okay.
So not diamond for a change.
So when we look at, did they actually list out purple? Because I can't see it. The actual astrological sign. We could just cycle through all of them and go back through that. So essentially, the correlation would be starting in the beginning, and then
Hmm.
just leave that up on screen for people to take a look at. So
Yeah, of
yeah,
course. Yeah, so the Celtics will always start from December to January. So that would correspond with it.
yeah. So December to January. So that would be Sagittarius, if I'm
Hmm.
remembering. So yeah, their astrological starts with Sagittarius and then continues on through this. So the second one would be Capricorn, going through
Capricorn.
Aquarius. Yeah, and those you guys can see it in chat. Whatever yeah, you can just scroll down and ask us if there's something you want clarification on for birth months. We can tell you, but this is what the Celts believed, and it wasn't so much about the stone; it was about the trees, harkening
Hmm.
back to the Druidic tradition that they had. So,
Yes, and this also
yeah,
ties in with the Vikings as well. So one of their most important trees was obviously Yggdrasil, which is the world tree.
yeah,
But this is kind of fascinating, and it is interesting to see the stones that they use. They don't correspond with the more kind of better known Western um,
yeah.
but they still use, there's amethyst again, but this is for August this time.
I am going to be in the back because I have to pull up the other stuff that we talked about, Purple Valkyrie, for a second. But what was it that you think, between some of the other stuff that we've seen, our current contemporary zodiac chart in the Celtic one, which one
Hmm.
appeals the most to you? I mean, which one speaks to your heart the most?
Honestly, I like both, but I've got to admit, now that I've kind of done a deep dive and really kind of looked at the Celtic, I do love the idea of having a special tree that aligns, and just reading about some of the different characteristics for some of them. So if I pick up what I would have been, which is, oh, there's Alder. So yeah, so March 18th to April 14th stands for protection, endurance, and passion. So
Oh,
the elder tree symbolized Bran, served as a bridge for people to cross the river. It says the tree is swampy and often rotten when wet. That's kind of harsh, but I'll take it. That's okay.
we have a special request from Magitech Mags. It says
Okay,
August. She wants, so what
August.
day in August is it? So it shows she would be a Leo. Let me do this, you guys. We are not.
Let's have a look.
Let's see.
So
So
we've got,
Leo. Go
yeah,
ahead.
we've got July 8th to August 4th, or we've got August 5th to September 1st.
It would be late August by the looks of this. So from mid
Okay.
August on, that's what I'm guessing. What would it be in Celtic mythology? Yep.
So
Oh, she says the 13th. Hold on. She's the 13th. So August. So that would be the
Hazel.
equivalency.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Go ahead, Purple. Tell her all about it.
Oops. Okay, so your tree is the hazel tree. You are known as the knower. So you are highly knowledgeable and knowledge thirsty. Your animals are the crane and the salmon, and your stone is actually the amethyst.
Okay,
Let
I'm
me scroll
jealous.
down and see
I'm
what it says
jealous.
about
I'm
that.
jealous of her fish. I'm jealous of her fish. I'm just gonna say that.
That's a pretty awesome stone. Yeah. What was it called? I've lost it. Hazel. That's what we're looking for. My
Yeah.
Holly Hazel. There we go. So
Yeah.
give them any topic and they will discuss it like they're an expert, pulling subjects from memory. The gifted Hazel only wants to share knowledge and doesn't mean to come off as a know-it-all. They make excellent historians and are great at charming crowds.
Wow.
Hazel said they should pursue a Rowan or a Hawthorn if
Oh.
you're looking for that.
You hear that, Mags? You want to find a Hawthorne or a Rowan man. Just saying. We got Thunder Sensei, who's May 15th, which I don't know. Does it list that out there, Purple? What would that
Yeah,
be?
let's have a look. May 15th. Let me scroll back
Mhm.
up. My apologies for jumping
Oh,
back
no,
and forth,
no, no.
guys.
We're just putting you
May
on the spot.
15th is the hawthorn tree. You are known as the illusionist. You are curious, compassionate, and calm. Your animals are the bee and the owl, and your stone is the topaz.
This is cool. I really like the Celtic the zodiac and the Celtic astrological stuff a lot. I love the grounding in the physical world. I think it's really remarkable. So,
It is, and if it's okay with Salty, I'll put this link into the chat, and you guys
yes.
after can kind of check it out if you like.
So
I would.
Magitech, sorry,
Mhm.
Magitech Mag says, what month is a Hawthorne and Rowan man? Because she's running to Tinder right now to
Hawthorn
set up that.
is May, so it will be Taurus. And what was the other one? It
Oh,
was
let me Rowan. Rowan.
Rowan. Let's have a look. Where
Yep.
is Rowan? I didn't see Rowan in here. Oh, there it is.
Hmm.
It's January. So
Yeah. That would probably be a Capricorn,
Capricorn.
or
Yeah,
yeah, be a Capricorn. So
it's
there you go.
a Capricorn or a Taurus.
Yeah. No promises, just can't hurt. You know what I mean, Max? Just give it a try. Oh, here we go. And I don't even know what this symbol is because I don't know what the symbols are. I think that's a Taurus, isn't it? That is that a bull? You know?
Yes, that's the bull. Yep.
Okay. So we got Teresa, Miss Martin Muges is a Taurus. Now I need to go we're tag teaming here. So that appears to be a May the month of
May.
May, Purple. So her
All
stone would be an
right.
emerald. What would that be in Celtic mythology?
So depending if it's the beginning, it would be the same. It would be willow. So she would be the observer, creative, intuitive, intelligent, and likes to learn. Your animals would be the adder, the hare, or the sea serpent, and your
Oh,
stone is moonstone.
wow. Moonstone. That's a heavy stone. And what's her tree again? What's Miss Martin Muse's tree
Willow.
again?
Willow, unless it's the later, and then it would be back to the hawthorn, which is the one that we already covered.
Sarah Green asks about October. October, that would be Libra. I'm guessing Libra, but for October, what would that tree be? Purple and
So let's have
yeah.
a look. So October, this is lines up. So it's, I would say most of this, it covers most of October. So I would say it will be ivy, which is the survivor, the ivy tree. You are charismatic, restless, optimistic, but collaborative. Your animals are the boar, the butterfly, and the goose, and your
Oh,
stone is opal.
oh. See, these are crazy when you, not crazy, but crazy in a good way. Looking at these ancient druidic, earthbound, earth magic myths, and then overlaying that, I can see that having met Sarah Green, how a lot of those positive characteristics just in the little while we hung out. I think that's very accurate. Let me get to this super chat from Thunder Sensei 150 again. Thank you for 4.99. Says family enough. Oh, funnily enough, one of the first gifts I got from her boyfriend was a blue topaz earrings. Well, that's really cool. Topaz is a really funky
Nice.
stone.
Topaz
It's
is
a really funky.
beautiful.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of stones. I really am. Like I have a bookcase full of loaded with jasper and other rocks in the other room from all the stuff that I found on the beach and quartz and agates and all the other stuff in my truck in the center console. It is full of more rocks. In the back of my truck, more rocks as I just pick up these jaspers because someday I'm going to get a rock tumbler and have it running for 3 months in my garage, driving all my neighbors crazy to get some of these stones polished, especially the brocaded jaspers. Thank you very much for that, Thunder Sensei. Jay the Deep Minded says, my favorite semi-precious stone is a type of fluorite known as blue John, quite rare and
Mm.
found in the Peak district in the UK where I grew up. Well, I'm going to look that up real quick. Go
I've
ahead.
heard of it, but I've never seen it. So that is kind of amazing.
I'm gonna
Um,
look.
but just kind of going back, you can see the way that they use their.
Oh,
So
yeah.
they started with the birch, the rowan, the ash, and all the way around back to the alder tree. But it is interesting to see what was important to different civilizations, and it also lists the Algorithm alphabet as well. But that kind of brings in a whole different level. But
Yeah.
I think it's fascinating, and most of these gemstones coming through them, I would class them as semi-precious, which is one of the things we actually talked about. How over time the more precious stones have become more
Hmm.
prevalent.
Sarah Green is apparently a Scorpio. So
Ah,
that's where this is dangerous because neither one of us have our own psychic hotlines. So that would be Scorpio would
it's
be late November.
October,
Well, it
yeah,
would be
yeah.
November. Yeah, go ahead.
So I would say, if that's the case, if it is late October into November, it will be the reed. You are known as the leader, strong willpower, a history lover, and you love to learn. Your animals are the hound and the owl, and your stone is jasper. I love jasper. Jasper's amazing
I
stone.
find a lot of jasper, a lot of jasper. I'm going
Hmm.
to go ahead and take you out purple and show you
Yeah, of
what
course.
the blue stone, the blue John stone was. And I'm going to get you, I might have gone to Etsy for this. This is what the blue John stone looks like. And I have not seen anything like that before. That's a really kind of funky. It is really kind of cool.
Oh, that is beautiful.
I can see why you dig this. Look at that. That is very, very cool. Thanks for pointing that out.
That
Um,
is that is lovely. I'm gonna have to look that
yeah.
stone up now.
And Purple Valkyrie did drop the link to this in chat to take a look at the Celtic mythology so you can find it out. I will also put it in the pinned comment section. We actually got something from our man in the UK, Ian So Forth, for £5 British, says I'm Aries. People say that makes me argumentative, but they can bugger off. All right. For that stunning amount of self-awareness, which it truly is. Why don't you go ahead and read the what Aries would be for our man.
Aries would be, so I'm guessing that you're from Aries to myself, so it would be, depending on, you know, if you're early or late, it would either be the Alder, which is the same as me, or you would be the Willow, the Observer. So again, creative, intuitive, intelligent, a learner, and it goes into the Moonstone, which is your stone, and the Hare, the Adder, and the Sea Serpent would be your animal.
So we've also got one last request, and this will be it. But this one comes to us from Soul Assassin, who says Pisces. Now, it goes based upon the dates that are there. Now, I'm March 4, so it would be any date. Pisces would be anything March, I think, 17th through. I can't pull anything up because of the way this is going. But Purple, I'm going to have to rely on your judgment on this one because I can't get to it.
Well, I'm gonna. Yep.
It would be March 17th through essentially mid-February would be Pisces.
Okay, so in that case, you would be the enchanter. Your tree is the ash tree. You're a free thinker, naturally creative. You have a very powerful imagination, and your animals are the seal, the seahorse, and seagull. And your stone is coral, so you have a strong connection, like Salty, to the ocean.
Yep. And Monkey Jeebus is May 14th. I'm guessing that is Taurus. So we did Taurus already. Do you remember what that was? That was
We did.
Rowan, if I remember right.
You're just on the cusp of this one. So you go into actually the hawthorn tree, which is the illusionist. Curious, compassionate, and calm. It's the bee and owl and the topaz stone.
Cool.
Very cool.
We're gonna cover these just glance through these in chat. I'm going to drop you out because I have to work with the images that I have. So this is probably going to be difficult to read, and I can't do a heck of a lot about it. Yeah, I can't even pull it up. So, and I can't even see it. Bear with me 1 second. Let's see what I can do. Yeah, I can read it now. So this is talking about the differences. There are Arabic birthstones. There are Hebrew birthstones. There are all kinds of things like that. And I can't see what's going on chat. Okay, that's looking a little bit better. There we go. So yeah, we're getting a little bit better of an image. So interestingly enough, garnet across the board, doesn't matter if it's Arabic culture, Hebrew culture, Italian, early Italian, the Poles, after I would say it was I think it was the 14th century or 15th century, the Poles kind of reinvigorated what the church didn't want people to do, which was wear the showy jewelry just as a civilian and not somebody who's like part of a rich family or part of the church. And they really kind of popularized wearing signet rings, wearing these amulets again. It's debated. Some people say it's the Poles or the Germans. I'm going to go with the Poles on that for a lot of reasons. But you can see across these cultures that for January birth month, it is essentially garnet. Now, there's an exception there. If you start looking at the Hindu birthstone, that is a serpent stone. Looking at February across the board, again, it is all amethyst. Doesn't matter if it's Arabic, Hebrew, Polish. However, it would be this crazy stone. I think it's Chandrakarta, that's like a Hindu birthstone, but every culture has amethyst for February. March, bloodstone. Bloodstone is a fascinating stone. It happens to be my old school pagan pre sort of jewelry store stone. Bloodstone can take a lot of different forms. It can be green and have some sort of red in it, but typically it is a red shiny stone with sort of bright blood-like markings on it. So there's that. Jasper is something that during the Italian Renaissance they went with, and but yeah, you can see across the board. April, was the sapphire, pretty much across the board except for the Hindus.
Mhm.
Emerald for May, except for the Hebrews. Except for they thought that agate, carnelian, and chalcedony were the stone. But you can kind of get a sense of all this, and I'll put all of this the stuff that's out there. Now, this is from a book called The Curious Lore of Precious Stones, and it was published back in 1913. And it was done analyzing a series of texts and treatises and popular folklore throughout all of these cultures as to what they should wear, and probably the normal people did wear within these cultures. But I just wanted to give you a sample and show you these things, that it's more than just what we kind of get from, your modern 20th century, go to the mall and buy a manufactured synthetic stone thing. These have a long tradition that goes back thousands of years in our history to, 6,000, 5,000 BC. They were used in the Sumerian culture. They were used in, obviously, the Egyptian culture. And now we are where we are here today. So while you can take a look at see it aquamarine, if you're a Pisces like me, look up the old stuff like bloodstone. And the same thing if you're any other astrological symbol that is out there. And I'm going to bring you guys back in. Purple Valkyrie, we've been going for about an hour and a quarter. And considering that my streaming app has bounced me out 8 times, this may be a good time for us to wind down. But I want to say a huge thank you to everybody who's been in chat with us. You guys are absolutely amazing. This entire show was driven simply because you requested that we cover topics like this.
Mhm.
You're going to
It was.
find me doing a lot more of that on this channel. I'm coming up on my 2-year anniversary. I talked about it earlier in the week on YouTube, and just something snapped in me during watching the Rings of Power. I took a little break, and then now this latest nonsense that I'm seeing with the things going on in The Last of Us, and then what we just saw with Marvel Phase 5. I don't have it in me to fill my heart and my soul and my life with that much anger and hate, because our entertainment there is no more culture war. It's over. It's over. We tried. The interests behind this are the same ones that are turning our power off and making us eat bugs. It's all part of the same thing. And I'm going to devote what time I put into this channel covering things that I truly care about. I will talk about Robert Jordan. I will talk about Tolkien. But I'm going to spend a lot of time covering a lot of woo stuff, things that I care about, jumping on other people's live streams to support them. I do not have it in my constitution to sit through another show that we know is going to be bait and switched with a trans allegory. And we now know what they're doing to children. And I withdrawing my consent to bring that into my life. But I have a
Life's
hell of a
too
lot of
short.
fun with you.
Yes.
Life is too short. Life's too short to eat crickets too. Purple Valkyrie, where can people find you next? Did you have fun today? Thank you for manning
I
the ship while I got
love this. Oh my
bounced out of my
gosh.
own stream. Go
This
ahead.
is such a good stream. Thank you again to Mags, but most of all, thank you to Salty for wanting to do this, because he really kind of laid the groundwork for this. It's like, what can we do to really bring this in? And thank you for letting me show off some rocks. It was awesome. I'd love to do more like this. So if there are more topics that you guys would like us to cover, please let us know, because the one thing that
Yes,
we found talking woo woo is we never run out of things to cover. But
true.
it's your show as much as it is ours.
Yeah. You all, we put a poll out asking what you'd like us to cover. People want to talk about ancient civilizations. I love
Hmm.
talking about ancient civilizations. One thing when I come to these shows is I don't want to give you half-assed stuff. I don't just want to fluff things. You know what I mean? And make up shit that I don't know what I'm talking about. So when I try and do stuff like this with Purple Valkyrie, we try and do some research ahead of time so that we're prepared and can think on our feet. There's a lot of stuff with like Gobekli Tepe and the new Tepe that I found that I want to get into. Other information about other emerging things that I have found, including the oldest mummies ever found in Egypt on record, which kind of are resetting the established Egyptian timeline, but they're not letting it
Hmm.
do it. So we will get into that, and hail to you, Jay the Deep Minded. But I love doing this. I do. YouTube is going to get strange. They're forcing some terms of service on us, and you're going to hear other content creators talk about it, that could retroactively see them demanding that I return what little bit that I've made from YouTube over the last 2 years because I used the F word,
Yeah.
which was fine when I said the F word. Only now they can retroactively penalize me for misinformation too. So we'll see how all this plays out, because I'm kind of burned out on being screwed over by this platform, but that's okay. You're not here for that. I had a hell of a lot of fun today, and I really like looking at your rocks, and I didn't know about a hagstone. I loved you guys coming in here and bringing all your stuff. Thank you to everybody who gave super chats.
Yes, thank you
Just,
guys.
you guys are awesome. And I really look forward to another chill and build stream, because right here on the desk next to me, I have the octopus that I was painting. And I
I
can't wait to do
love
more of
that
that.
freaking
So,
octopus.
yeah.
It looks so good.
Yeah. But yeah, you guys, if you really want us to do some stuff, just let us know what you want to be in the comments, or leave it in the comments after the video's up, because we'd love to cover that stuff. I've got a series of things that I want to cover, and I'm really excited about talking about that. Is woo-woo, but it's not just basic bitch woo-woo. You know what I mean? We get into things a little bit deeper when Purple and I do shows together. So I look forward to covering that with you. Cam, are you teasing me? Eat a steak, drink some Irish whiskey, and have some fun. Hell to the yeah.
Good
I agree with that
idea.
on
All
everything.
of
And
the
thank you.
above, yes.
But you guys are awesome. Thanks so much for being here. Purple, what do you got going on? Where can people find you? What's the next thing you're going to be doing?
I will no doubt be back on Wednesday with the gentleman here. We will be talking more woo-woo, because we love to do it. And fingers crossed, I'll be able to do another chill and build stream very soon as well, because you guys really seem to like that. And I know we do. It's just a different sort of stream. We can kind of take a step back and just chat and just talk to you guys and do something with our hands, which it's very therapeutic.
Yeah, especially painting octopuses. Thanks to
Oh,
everyone
yes.
who's been here today. Thank you to everyone who gave super chats. Thank you so much for your jokes, and thank you for the idea to do this stream. I hope you have a great rest of your Saturday evening, and I hope that we'll see you again real soon. Take care.
Thank you.